This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this Catalina Legacy Edition by Coachman, and it's a 2023. The model number is 243RBS. Okay, so this is a how-to video. I'm just going to show you some of the features and how they work, okay? So you got regular crank down stabilizers. You got a power awning with LED strip, outside speakers. This is the vent for the range hood here. There's a baffle in there that you want that baffle to be flapping freely like it is right now if you're cooking and venting to the outside. This is your furnace vent here, of course. This is their fresh water tank fill. Now the most common way to get water to the trailer, of course, is the city water hookup. You just hook up the city water, turn it on, and all your plumbing works. If you're camping someplace, let's say you're boondocking and there's no city water hookup, you can pre-fill your fresh water tank right here, and then you can use the onboard pump, the 12-volt pump, to pump the water. I'll show you where the switch is when we get inside the trailer, but all the plumbing will work as though you have city water, but you'll be pumping it from the fresh water tank, okay? So you have that option. TV signal out plus some power. You're getting a Husky centerline weight distribution hitch with built-in sway control. I'll show you how that operates when you pick up. You also have your dump hose kit in there, plus another reducer to reduce your 30 amp down to a 20. And there's, of course, your power cord is in there. You can see it coiled up over there. We're just using our cord now. This device here is your power or your solar controller. So what's happening now is it's saying FUL and flashing back and forth. That's telling me that it's full. There's no more room for storage in your battery, or there is no battery. It can work either way. And so as soon as your amperage drops in storage, for example, it'll go right back to the normal screens. So the panel right now is shut off. It's telling us now 0.0 amps are being gained by the sun and stored in your battery, so we're not gaining any solar power right now because there's no place for storage. If you push it again though, you got 1.5 amp hours of storage, 13.6 volts DC are in your DC system, which is perfect. And back to the original screen that we had where you're 0.0 amps. Now, when you have room for storage, a battery with room for storage in it, this will go up. On a day like today, it'll be around 5 amps, 5.5, whatever, amps gain from the sunlight. It all depends on the time of day, the weather conditions outside, the position of the sun in the sky in relationship to where your trailer is, that sort of thing. So all those factors contribute to the amount of amps at your storage. When it flashes, like I went back to that flashing mode, it's telling you there's no room for storage right now. So that's all it's doing. You can see right here on the green light on this side with the solid battery, it's telling you that there's absolutely no storage room anywhere. Okay? Like I said, as soon as your amperage drops in your storage, the screens will go back to normal. Okay, so 2 LP tanks with a regulator. You have a battery and a box. You have your power tongue jack. Okay, this is a kill switch for your battery. Right now it's on. If you wanted to disconnect the battery, you just should turn it to the off position, of course. Generally speaking, you're going to want it on because the sun's going to be charging the battery. Okay. So as we move down farther past your slide room, this is just our shop cord plugged in right now. I showed you your cord in the front pass-through compartment. You have your valves here for your black tank valve on the right, that's toilet water and waste. Your gray tank on the left, which is sink and shower water, of course. cable and satellite through to the inside of the trailer. This is your city water hookup. This is the most common way to get water to the trailer. You're just going to hook the hose onto there, turn on, you're all set. Keep that in mind. I showed you the fill for the fresh water on the other side. Now, this here, down here is a shower, an outside shower slash sprayer. Okay. This is your black tank flush. So, the thing to remember about the black tank flush is this sticker says, do not use the tank flush valve unless the termination valve, that's your dump valve, is in the open position. So the bottom line is you're going to dump your black tank and you're going to leave the valve open. Leave the valve open, then you put the hose at the dump station right on here, the fresh water hose, and turn it on and flush out your black tank and clean off the sensors. But you always want the valve open, the dump valve open, so too much pressure doesn't build up inside. So keep that in mind. And of course, that housing tells us this is pre-wired for a backup camera. You can always add a Furan backup camera kit if you're interested. And when we're looking up, the manufacturer states every 90 days you should inspect the roof. So make sure you go up there and or somebody goes up there and takes a look around to make sure everything's in good shape, no damage by low branches or anything like that, okay? All right. Let me look back over here. This is your water heater here. Okay, so these are your low point drain plugs here. So underneath the trailer, there's going to be your low points, and the plugs are out. Okay, and then you have your anode rod slash plug for your water heater here. You can see that's where it goes right there. Because we're winterized right now, the valves on the back of the water heater are bypassed, so no antifreeze can get into the water heater, because it'll leave a really bad taste if you allow that. So you always bypass it before you put any antifreeze in the system. And after it's bypassed, you're going to drain the water out by pulling this plug, obviously, right? And then you just leave it bypassed and empty for the winter time. Okay, so right now it's the water heater is, like I said, is bypassed, it's empty, and there's antifreeze still in the system because it's winterized still. Okay. All right. Never run the water heater without water in the tank. You should always make sure you fill it. Now, right here, I just want to show you that there's a heating element behind this cover here, and this is the switch that operates it right here. That's the electric switch for the heating element. Never run the heating element without water in the tank, of course. And I'll show you where the other switches are inside the trailer, okay? For the gas valve and like I mentioned, your water heater and some other things, okay? All right, let me just close that. Okay. Of course, you have your fold-down rack here to store some totes on or whatever. All right, so let's go inside. So your control panel, your awning is here, your awning switch. Never leave the awning out unattended. So you can see it goes in and out very simply. Never leave it out unattended. If you're not going to be at the trailer, roll it in so it doesn't get damaged by the weather. And this one here is for your slide room, okay? Then you have your interior lights right here. Your water pump is right here. That's how you turn the water pump on. Remember, you use that water pump to pump water out of the fresh water tank if you don't have city water. You also use that to winterize the trailer. Then you have your water heater lighted on gas. Okay? So the electric switch is outside where I showed you, the lower left hand corner outside. That's for the electrical heating element. For the gas burner, it's right here. Always make sure there's water in the tank before you turn either one of those on. And then of course you have your levels here, your battery level, your tank levels. That connect is for an app. Get an app for it if you want, download it. Okay. All the outlets. This is just a regular duplex outlet, but it's still wired through a GFCI. So there's going to be one in the bathroom. In the trailer this side, there's probably two of them. Keep in mind, anytime you lose power in a receptacle, think GFCI first. Even the one on the outside is protected. All of them are wired through the GFCI system. Okay. okay? Here's your stuff here. All your literature and stuff, and here are your keys right here, okay? The microwave works like any other microwave. This is the range hood here. I've told you, or showed you the vent on the outside, right? You have a light here, plus a power, plus a, what am I looking for? A fan. When it comes to your range, I don't know if the gas is turned on right now. Well, I guess we can find out real quick here. Yeah, it is. So all you're doing is these three are for the burners. This one is for the oven. You just go to high, depress it, spark it, hold it for a few seconds to heat up the thermocouple, and you're all set. You do the same thing with the oven. This, here, let's see here. First of all, always keep this latch so the doors don't fling around and get damaged, get dented. See, the light went out, the refrigerator went out when I flipped this switch. This is a great thing to have because you have a solar panel. This refrigerator runs on 12-volt DC, just like your solar panel does in the DC system of the trailer. So this runs off, this is like the largest consumer of DC power in your trailer. So let's say you put the trailer in storage and you leave your solar panels on because you want your batteries nice and charged when you go to use it. Well, because you want to do that, you can take this out of the loop just by shutting it off, right? So you shut it off and it doesn't compete for the electricity. The electricity will just be stored right into the batteries till it tops off. Remember I showed you it says FUL. That's how it should be when you pick it up. If you leave the refrigerator on, it's not going to do that because it's always going to be trying to run the refrigerator or keep it powered up. So just like I said, when you're in storage and you want your batteries to be charged, just shut off your refrigerator. If you're out in the middle of nowhere and you want to conserve your 12-volt DC, shut the refrigerator off, and you gain all that would be used for operating your refrigerator. Okay, that's important, of course. So remember, this is the on and off switch for the refrigerator. Also, always travel with this closed. Never leave it open, and never close it while the burners are hot either. You want to let them cool down first. All right. So, while we're on energy here, this is your power converter right here. Now, this power converter will automatically detect what kind of batteries you have up there. Right now, you just, if you get your battery from us, it's generally a wet battery. It's a deep cycle marine battery. Well, it'll detect that automatically, right? On your solar controller, which is up in the front that we looked at, you have to tell it what kind of battery you're going to use. So if you're going to add a lithium batteries, for example, you have to tell the solar controller. You just look in your manual that comes with it. It'll show you how to do it. It's very simple, but you'll have to tell it that you're switching to lithium batteries so it can optimize the system for those. Same with gel batteries, AGS, whatever you're using. Okay, but this particular power converter detects it automatically. Okay. And right on this side, when you're plugged into shore power, you've got 120 AC circuit breakers, and they're labeled right there. So that's your distribution center for your AC power. Then the AC power is converted to 12-volt DC on this side. So you see you got 12-volt fuses here, and they're all labeled. And so that's your DC distribution center there. Okay. This is also a battery tender, so it'll sense how much energy your battery or batteries need and have, depending on how many you have on the front. And it'll always keep them charged. As long as you're plugged into shore power, it'll sense them. And if they're topped off, it'll just trickle a couple amps up there to maintain it. If it's low, it'll send 10 amps or whatever's necessary to keep them charged. So this is your power converter. It's your distribution center for AC power. It converts AC to DC power, distributes the DC power, and it keeps your battery charged. Of course, when you're pulling down the road, your tow vehicle is going to charge your battery, and the solar panel will be charging your batteries as it can, depending on the conditions outside. Okay? This is your carbon monoxide LP gas detector. It should always be green. If not, get it serviced. There's also a test button there. This detects carbon monoxide buildup or LP gas, so it's very important. Never let it, if it's not green and it's not working, get it repaired immediately. Don't put it off. It's very important, obviously. They're not expensive, so it's not a big deal. Also, this is a low battery alarm, so if it starts beeping very slowly, it's telling you your battery's low. The reason it does that, because this is a safety device and it's hardwired to the battery. So if you shut everything off in the trailer, the only thing that's going to be drawing power from the battery is this right here. This is always hooked up to the battery. So that's why it'll warn you, just telling you that it doesn't have enough energy to perform its function, its safety function, okay? So keep that in mind. Also, let's see what else we have here. I'm looking around. You can convert this into a sofa, or excuse me, you can convert it into a bed by dropping the tabletop down onto the cleats around here, using the back cushions to fill in the space. You got a bed, and you have this one here, of course. This is a jackknife sofa, so it'll jackknife flat and turn into a bed. So you got two more out here. Your fireplace, I'll just have to operate it this way. Turn it on. It's also let's see what we have here. It's also, you see the thermostat down there, LL, which is low. That's the fan speed. If I push it again, it's, let me get the right one, HH, which is high. So now it's really kicking out the heat. So it's a really good space heater. You can also change the color of the let me get this right. There you go. You can change the color of the crystals and that sort of thing. So it's a good space heater, runs off campground power. So on those days where you don't quite need to use your limited supply of LP gas, you can always take the chill out with this. That's your router. You have to read up on it a bit. Your TV hangs here. There's a backing plate. I suggest if you hang a TV here, if you're going to get a decent bracket, go on let's say Amazon and punch in travel trailer or RV TV brackets. They're much more sturdier. They have a wider base to fasten to the wall, so it's much more stable, and they generally lock in place. So you can lock them up against the wall so they don't flail around when you're driving down the road. So I suggest spending a little bit more money and getting that one. It's up to you, obviously. Like I said, your router is self-evident. And your sound here, it has a Bluetooth, FM radio. It has two speaker zones, A and B. A is inside the trailer, B is outside the trailer. It has, it should have a, I don't see it offhand, but I thought it had I might be wrong, I better not say it. I thought it had a USB drive, but I guess maybe it doesn't. But it's got Bluetooth, so you can stream it from your phone or your tablet, so it pretty much does everything you need it to do. Alrighty. I'll pick up the pace here, I'm running out of time. Your thermostat's self-evident. You just hit the mode button until you find the mode you want. Very simple. Always travel with this closed, latched right here with this rubber piece on here. Otherwise they'll slam together, the doors will slam together and they can break. So if you keep them latched together like this, they never will. There's your GFCI I told you about. Everything's wired through a GFCI. The toilet works like any other RV toilet in that it has to have chemical in it and fresh water. So when you get to the campground, you hook up your power and your water, then you're going to dump a dose of chemical in the bowl, step on the pedal and hold it down until you put at least a gallon of water in there with the chemical. Most people use a little bit more than a gallon, and you're all set. If you don't do that, it'll get clogged up, it'll smell bad, it'll just be a mess. So always use a dose of chemical and at least a gallon of water when you start off. Alrighty, and last but not least, smoke detectors there. I'll put the battery in there for you. You have another TV hookup over there with a backer plate. You have emergency windows here. You have storage underneath the bed. So you got everything you need and then some. So, okay. I think that covers it. So, okay. So I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Please remember what I said about inspecting the roof. You want to do that every 90 days or so just to make sure everything's okay up there. You can't see what's happening up there unless somebody looks. Right now this is winterized, so make sure you de-winterize it when you're getting ready to use it. Put the water heater valves in the correct position and fill the water heater before you start using it, okay? Thank you.